Welcome to Positive Atheism English channel. Today I am going to read out you the article on Jawaharlal Nehru, a man with a vision, which is printed in the souvenir of 7th World Atheist Conference in India. Jawaharlal Nehru, a man with a vision. After Gandhi's, his is the one name that stands for India. These words of Vinoba Bhave reveal in unmistakable terms the greatness of Jawaharlal Nehru, India's foremost nationalist and the first Prime Minister of India. Jawaharlal Nehru was the product of the Indian Renaissance and the product of the Indian Revolution, to which Thai was to give shape and content. He was product of the Gandhi era of that revolution, different from Gandhi and with his own individuality, though a part of it. Today, when India is passing through the most critical decade, the nation fondly remembers the great son who was a relentless champion of secularism, humanism, and propounder of scientific outlook. The people would still like to follow the path shown by Nehru for the onward march of the country. Jawaharlal Nehru breathed his last in May 27, 1964. President Radhakrishnan declared that night, a fighter for freedom, a maker of modern India, and an emancipator of the human race had gone, and an epoch in Indian history had come to a close. The world mourned his death. Youth and Secretary General UNO stated, few of his age have left their mark on the history of their own country as he was. Responsible as he was for the policies of one of the largest countries in the world, he has affected the course of world events. Bertrand Russell opined, Mr. Nehru was a man who, despite 14 years of imprisonment, showed no bitterness towards those who had taken his time from his personal and public life. If we try to imagine what that means, a period of the greater part of the independent life of India, we can better understand the magnitude of his contribution to mankind. In the 17 troubled years during which he was the head of the Indian government, he gave shape to every aspect of national policy. Nehru may have gone wrong at times, but he was great enough to admit his mistakes. He was always right in his basic approach, which was pragmatic and practical, commended the Times of India. His socialism was essentially an evolutionary philosophy which discarded the road of violent class struggle. He was impatient for change, as all great reformers are, but as a humanist, he also realized that the experience of other countries was not wholly relevant to the genius and spirit of India. He was an amalgam of idealist and pragmatist, stated the Hindustan Times. Assessing Nehru's multifaceted personality, the Hindu asserted his greatest achievement undoubtedly is the fact that despite the horrors of the partition and the surge of the communal passions and linguistic loyalties, he kept India united within a democratic, secular framework and set her firmly on the road to economic development and modernization. His eclectic as well as pragmatic approach to social problems arose out of his faith in democratic process and his innate aversion to anything savoring of regimentation and dogmatism. Highlighting the achievements of Nehru, the New York Times wrote, within his own society, he was a revolutionary, constantly haranguing his own people about their own superstitions and entrustments. He was a revolutionary in international councils and a successful one in that he was the first to prove that a nation without a military might could and would be heard by the military mighty. The New York Herald Tribune in its tribute stated, Gandhi led a revolution, Nehru built a state, and in the building, Nehru displayed a devotion to democracy and a social progress for India that is almost unique in the troubled world of new nations. His power over the Indian people was largely moral and it was nearly absolute. All of this is a testimony to the greatness in Jawaharlal Nehru, to a stature which he alone, of all the revolutionaries of a revolutionary era, really possessed. He was described by some as the colossus of non-alignment, outstanding statesman, a great unifying force, and a man of refinement, scholarship, and statesmanship. It was a fitting tribute to a person who had in his will and testament recorded, I have received so much love and affection from the Indian people that nothing that I can do repay even a small fraction of it, and indeed, there can be no repayment of so precious thing as affection. Many have been admired, Some have been revered, but the affection of all classes of Indian people has come to me in such abundant measure that I have been overwhelmed by it. Just 10 days before his assassination, on January 20th, 1948, Mahatma Gandhi stated, "It should gladden our hearts to note that this beautiful land of ours has produced such great men, endowed with such a wonderful spirit of service and self-sacrifice." Jawahar is a real Jawahar Jawal. Jawaharlal Nehru was born on November 14, 1889 at Allahabad. At the age of 15, he went to England for education at Harrow and then at Trinity College, Cambridge. Then he studied law at the Inner Temple. Endowed with valuable experience and with bubbling enthusiasm, he returned to India and started his practice at Allahabad High Court. In 1912, he attended Patna Congress session. Then Gandhi came. It was the beginning of the new phase in the political and social struggle. He met Gandhi at Lucknow Congress in 1916, which changed the course of not only his life but also millions of others. His life was intertwined with the national struggle. Responding to the call of the Mahatma, Jawaharlal and his father Motilal Nehru gave up the lucrative legal profession and joined the struggle. In 1921, they were arrested and sentenced to 6 months imprisonment. They gave their palace to Congress in Allahabad, which was known as Swaraj Bhavan. Between 31st December 1931 and September 1935, Jawaharlal Nehru spent a total of 1170 days in jail. Altogether, 14 years he was behind the bars in the imperialist India. Prison walls did not dampen his urge for freedom. His letters to Indira from prison became the glimpses of world history and the discovery of India. Reviewing glimpses of world history, the New York Times commented, "It is one of the most remarkable books ever written. Everything is more or less impromptu, yet there is a coherence, a design that must set Westerners gasping. Nehru makes even H.G. Wells seem singularly insular. One is awed by the breadth of Nehru's culture." The discovery of India, in the words of Indira Gandhi, delves deep into the sources of India's national personality. Together with Nehru's an autobiography, these books have molded a whole generation of Indians and inspired many others. And from here, we shall continue in the next episode again. Thank you.
For more videos, please subscribe to this channel Positive Atheism and activate the bell icon. Please download Samaram multi-channel app and watch your favorite channels from your mobile. App available on Google Play Store and subscribe to the channels.